Where is it? Where's the
story? The movie.
Skylar, where is the
story?
Yeah, Dale, I'm gonna be up on that stage too, right beside you.
Where'd you move here from? Dumbsville?
Yo, I hit the jeweler, got some goals. I sold a little weed, but I could never sell my soul. And when I'm in LA, you find me out in Lil Coke. I'm a vocal with my ramen, I'ma need another bowl. Let's go.
Wow, what a great day to make self-aware jokes in my YouTube video. And thank God I have no more lore to deal with. Hopefully no one crashes through my window or my ceiling. I just got that renovated.
Yo, Dumbs, I was just in the area and I thought that I'd—
Shut up, PNG tuber. Wait a minute, why would my roof be the area?
No, like the sky. I was just crashing around into different places. Might have hit the Pentagon somewhere along the way.
This film takes place less than a year after the September 11th terrorist attacks.
9/11.
Anyway, I heard you say you were liking the lore content, huh?
No, I said I didn't want more lore content.
Well, I have the perfect film for you. Morbius! Just kidding, got you, fucker. Hasn't been 30 seconds yet, can I say fuck? Whatever, it's Chip and Dale, bitch!
I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service.
Chip and Dale are characters that have existed in pop culture for a pretty long time now. Originally debuting in 1943, which is like at least 5 years ago, they've been an integral part of the Disney sidecast, appearing in several cartoons across multiple generations.
In 1989, however, Disney announced a large cartoon syndication called the Disney Afternoon. One of the first shows to air on this block was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. A show that, while I personally didn't grow up with it, does seem to be a well-beloved show, with memorable and fun characters, wacky hijinks, and a mouse that everyone wants to fuck.
I have complete trust in your work.
Ooh, I'm gonna be all up in those feet. Oh, I'm gonna just be...
But that's not really what we should be focusing on here. Tell me, youtube.com/Dumbsville, have you ever seen the beloved Alvin and the Chipmunks quadrilogy?
Better question, which one got the best head?
Simon. Anyway, these movies made bank, and Disney wanted a piece of that pie. So in 2014, they announced they were making a live-action CGI hybrid film for Chip and Dale. We don't know specific plot details, but I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it probably had something to do with them going to New York City and being chased by the government while living at some guy's house.
So like the Smurfs.
And Alvin, and Garfield, and Sonic, I could go on.
The film was in development limbo until 2019, when, after replacing all the crew with The Lonely Island,
fool I was to get involved in this madness.
the film took a new direction, which The Hollywood Reporter described as meta, self-referential, and cool.
Which basically means this.
No, it's stuck to my face like silly putty. Remember that stuff?
The film dropped on Disney Plus in May of 2022 to a surprisingly warm critical and audience reception, a reception that, in our honest opinion, it absolutely does not deserve.
Once again, I went in knowing next to nothing about Chip and Dale, and afterwards, I think I came out with less, aside from the whole mouse fucking thing.
So we're gonna metaphorically fuck this film.
That's really disgusting.
This is Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. So our film opens with, what else? Opening narration and a school setting.
What's the first thing that pops into your head when I say Chip and Dale? I'm willing to bet it's Thomas Chip and Dale.
Shit, shut your ass up.
And wow, they're already showing us how bad this film is gonna integrate animation.
Characters are jittering around in the background. It's lazy. Did the animators forget how to animate?
I mean, we've seen so much better from 2D put into live action. Hold on, why isn't Dale 2D? Dubs, why does he look like that?
Oh my god, he's not actually 2D. The crazy fucks lied to you.
He looks like a fucking unfinished Zelda Wind Waker character, not to mention cheap as hell.
He looks like a fucking Fortnite model.
That's a disservice to Fortnite models. At least Rick Sanchez had outlines. And hold on, the frame rate is lower. Are they trying to imitate 2D? Because they're not. It just looks even shittier somehow.
And hold on, there are other 2D characters in this scene that look, not great, but better. Why does this random cow teacher bitch look better than the main title character?
Probably because they only had to draw them a little bit. Imagine having to animate the main characters in 2D throughout the film. That'd be like Roger Rabbit, a film that came out over 30 years ago.
So after some social rejection, Chip and Dale meet. And holy shit, Knight Rider! I remember Knight Rider!
Dude, guys, remember the 80s? Nothing says nostalgia like the war on drugs and fuck, what else happened in the 80s? The Berlin Wall? Wait, Chip and Dale came out in the 40s. Why are they kids in 1983?
So after growing up together, the two moved to California, hoping to make it in showbiz.
Back the fuck up right now. What is that? That is a 2D head pasted on a live-action body. They didn't even try.
You know, that actually happens throughout the movie. So you're kinda saying the movie didn't try, which I find hard to believe. So the two work on their material.
What if I did something like,
I am infused nuts!
So Chip and Dale's voices aren't actually high-pitched. Weird creative choice. You can make a whole show with high-pitched voices, but you can't do that for a feature-length film.
Oh, come on, Jess, stop. It's meta. Instead of that, we can listen to John Mulaney and Andy Samberg never emote.
It's wild, right? It's my new show. I'm gonna be a super spy.
He tripped and fell in the back of McDonald's.
Isn't hearing them say every line exactly the same better?
I want to kill myself.
So they get their own TV show, which, funny enough, looks better than the actual movie.
Wait, when did the show come out again?
1989.
We then cut from a clip of the show to the actual set. Jesus Christ, please go back. This is jarring. You can just feel how much worse the actual movie is.
This reminds me of Silent Hill 2, how the game will phase between FMVs and the actual game's graphics. Only in that game, it was, creepy and intentional.
I mean, just look at how the cup is floating on their hands. Once again, Roger Rabbit did this way better 35 years ago.
Speaking of Roger Rabbit.
Dancing the Roger Rabbit with Roger Rabbit.
Look how they mess with my boy.
Anyway, so the Rescue Rangers show is a big hit. But it turns out Dale is doing a new show without Chip. How sad.
I just wanted to make sure the show was gonna happen first before I got your hopes up.
My hopes up?
Yeah, it's good news for everyone. Check this out.
They literally stopped the supposed to be emotional moment for that reference. What did that have to do with literally anything?
Not that it would be emotional anyways, to be fair. Because holy shit can these two not voice act.
But you're not second banana. I'm a banana, and you're just another banana.
Christ, this delivery is shit. You know you can emote in voice acting, right?
Cut to present day, where Dale, now undergone the CGI surgery, whilst I'm undergoing not trying to vomit in my mouth, is washed up at a convention alongside Lumiere, Tigra, and Ugly Sonic, who's weirdly one of the most well-animated characters in the film.
Wow, they found a way to get Sonic fans to dick ride this movie.
Impressive. Very nice. Let's see Paul Allen's car. Something wrong, Patrick?
Oh, they're laughing at me. I know that. You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke.
This literally describes the whole movie.
So we get some more incredibly on-the-nose meta commentary.
Your CG surgery was done very tastefully.
Shut your ass up.
Dale then thinks about what Chip is doing, and as it turns out, he's an insurance around a bunch of unrendered models.
Life is the worst. Which is why you need good insurance.
He arrives home listening to metal music, the only funny joke in the movie, and they don't really even highlight it, before catching Alvin and the Chipmunks on the TV.
Of course they're rapping. They always have to make the cartoons rap.
Oh, that was actually pretty funny. Here's hoping they don't hypocritically rap later in the movie.
Thankfully, if they do, they're in on the joke, and you can't hurt their feelings if they're in on the joke.
You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke.
Chip then gets a voicemail from his friend Monty, who tells him to meet him at his place. So Chip arrives at Monty's apartment, and he looks like shit. And by that I mean animated like shit. Like, holy fuck, why didn't they just animate him? But it turns out he owes cash to the Valley Gang, a group of criminals who sell him methamphetamine. Just kidding, it's actually
cheese.
And if he doesn't give them proper payment, they'll ship him away overseas and force him to star in bootleg knockoff movies. Oh yeah, also it turns out, remember Gadget, the mouse that everyone wants to fuck? Well, turns out she fucked the comedic relief fly zipper and had over 40 kids with him.
Holy shit, he fucked her! He infected her womb with his shit-orbiting, hand-rubbing insect seed, and you know what? She loved it. She begged for more. He literally made her a breeding factory. This is the face of the man who won it all.
I am the storm that is approaching.
Defeating me like this, that's not me.
Conveniently, Chip also arrives at Monty's house, and Chip and Dale finally reunite.
I never asked for this.
Which I would maybe care about if their original personalities weren't completely gutted out. But Dale leaves because of meta commentary bullshit, I guess.
Oh, he's full of it, Monty. No one's talking about a Rescue Rangers reboot except for him.
Some people keep trying to get me to do meta comedy, so there you go.
However, while they're gone, it turns out Monty was kidnapped. This is where we meet the main detective, J.K. Simmons. I'm not sure if he's ever given a name, but he's basically J.K. Simmons.
In all fairness, though, the stop motion looks good.
Nope, CG.
God damn it.
We're also introduced to this character. She has the personality of cardboard and acting to match, so I forgot her name, but she's a cop who conveniently loves Chip and Dale and convinced them to look for Monty themselves. This results in them digging up the cheese from earlier and traveling down to Main Street to find his dealer, who's a puppet. That's kinda cool.
Nope, that's a CG.
My life is a fucking lie!
And I mean, it's impressive for CG, but it's still really uncanny looking.
Why didn't they just use an actual puppet? It could have looked way better, not to mention cheaper, so there was literally no reason to do this.
Oh, by the way, Main Street itself is just a bunch of cameos. Remember Phineas and Ferb?
Oh my god, I remember Phineas and Ferb.
So the puppet guy suspects them and takes them to the leader of the Valley Gang. But first, meta comedy.
Hey, hold on a second. Chemistry like this doesn't just happen. This has got reboot written all over it.
Maybe if I shoot myself, I can be rebooted into a reality where this doesn't exist.
No, just stop. Don't shoot yourself. Because if you do, you'll miss the funny Robert Zemeckis motion capture joke. Even though he directed Roger Rabbit. Hey, look, it's Cats. That movie was so bad. Thank God Chip and Dale doesn't have this shitty Fortnite model in the whole movie. That'd be really hypocritical to criticize bad animation while also having a bad animation.
I think we're in the valley. The Uncanny Valley.
Oh, so that's why they're called the Valley Gang, as in the Uncanny Valley. I feel way more empty inside.
We then meet this Viking dude. He's played by Seth Rogen. His joke is that he's Seth Rogen.
This is where we meet the Valley Gang leader, Peter Pan.
Hell no.
There's a bit of a controversy about this. You see, the actual voice for Peter Pan, Bobby Driscoll, essentially got thrown out of the industry by Disney due to aging and not being a viable child actor. After that, his career floundered and he fell into a depressive drug habit, eventually dying from an overdose and being missing for 2 years until 2 kids discovered his body in an abandoned building.
To quote Bobby himself in 1962, "I was carried on a silver platter and then dumped into the garbage."
So how does the film portray Peter Pan? Why, as a former child star, mad that Disney threw him out because of his aging, of course. That totally is not distasteful at all.
And if you still aren't convinced, Peter straight up says this.
I'd never been so happy in my entire life. Then I got older, and they threw me away like I was nothing.
This is straight up paraphrase from Bobby Driscoll himself. And reminder, this is the film's antagonist.
Talk about incredibly poor taste. Why they chose to do this is beyond me. If Disney was trying to embrace their shitty behavior, why would they do it in a way that mocks the victim? That's like if I shot a guy and 50 years later I made a movie about how I shot him and it was funny because he sucked.
Honestly, the movie deserves all the controversy that came its way. Everybody should be ashamed of themselves for this fucking bullshit.
Back on a lighter note, Pete tries to force them into his bootleg film business, to which Chip and Dale comedically escape to the toilet, but oh no! Oh no! Is Chip dead? I totally think he's dead!
Nope, it's just a fake out.
Dale!
Thankfully, there's a meta joke about it, so...
Actually, they don't make a joke about it at all. We're supposed to take this seriously.
But wait a minute, I thought this was a smart and clever metafictional movie. They wouldn't put in a cliche death fake out and think that we'll take it on principle just because the rest of the movie is self-aware.
You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke.
Are you though?
So the two continue their investigation with the bland lady cop, leading her to walking into their garage and seeing a bunch of Chip and Dale stuff.
This is the limited edition Rescue Rangers Pog set.
What? Poggers!
It actually shows Rescue Rangers ratings in every US market in 1991, which, as you may recall, was our most successful year.
But the show ended in November of 1990.
So the two decide to dress up as rats, just like in that one episode of Rescue Rangers that I've never actually seen. So we cut to the enemy's bathhouse.
Jesus, the animation to live action integration still looks like shit. Look at this guy. There's no weight to him whatsoever and he morphs in size as the shot goes on.
So they sneak in and along the way we get a hysterical Randy Marsh cameo. Of course he doesn't do anything, but I know who he is, so it's funny.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
But that's not really what we should be focusing on. Remember when they said it was stupid for characters like them to rap?
Yeah, I do. Why?
Guess what happens?
Oh no, they start rapping, don't they?
They start rapping!
Oh, but don't worry, it's okay because they made a funny joke about how—
You can't just say that something is dumb and stupid and then go on to do that very exact thing immediately afterward. That just makes the entire movie look hypocritical and as if it's compensating for having the death of a cheap kid's backyard pool.
Ratio, youtube.com/JustStop, they're in on the joke.
You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke.
So thanks to their rapping skills, they're able to escape and get the plot crucial information to push the movie forward. Going to a dock where J.K. Simmons and crew investigate the evil Walter White meth lab. Unfortunately, they accidentally turn on the bootlegging machine due to a distinct lack of conflict. And Chip and Dale literally have to jump into it for the setup to work. Only the best writing, I assure you.
Why couldn't they just run under it? This is the most contrived bullshit I've ever seen.
But Dubsville, conflict.
We do not.
And more references, including this hilarious Rick and Morty one. Isn't that topical?
Well, now I just want to kill myself. So they're trapped in the machine. However, Dale gets an idea.
It's like episode 121.
Mission Chip Possible.
There were only 65 episodes, though.
Thankfully, the two make it out alive, and we get more references and that's about it. But their friend is still missing, causing a massive hit to the two's morale.
We then get our third act conflict of the movie, once again not played for any self-aware laugh. This is meant to be a dramatic moment.
And alas, we're at our third act, misunderstand.
But the rest of the movie was self-aware and tongue-in-cheek. That must mean it's still in on the joke.
Does this film actually expect that? That it's allowed to use the tired tropes and cliches because it has a bunch of meta jokes in it? It's not commenting on anything. It's once again just compensating for the fact that it has nothing of note to offer. The meta shit is a gimmick.
You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke.
Are you though?
Also, the nail to this scene's coffin, the pseudo 2D animation is still bad. Maybe I wouldn't be able to take this dramatic scene seriously if Chip didn't look like he was giving the exact same expression.
Doesn't help that they don't sound like it either. Mulaney and Sandberg cannot voice act for shit.
Here, I've been holding on to this for some stupid reason. Now your collection is complete.
You can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
But then the two suspect that J.K. Simmons is the bad guy the whole time. But they decide he's too obvious.
I knew Putty was dirty.
Oh, you're just saying that because it's always the police captain in our episodes. Putty's too obvious.
So they ignore their suspicions.
Man, that's totally not gonna come back.
However, if it does, they made a joke about it. Which means that it's okay to be fucking dog shit, I guess.
You can't hurt my feelings if
The two attempt to get help from Ugly Sonic back at the convention center, but uh-oh, the bad guys chase them down.
This leads to a bunch of references, including He-Man, Indiana Jones, and My Little Pony, further proving that this movie's comedy is stuck in 2012.
Peter, is that really you? You got old.
Wait, so Peter gets old because he's not actually forever young and just an actor, but the actor for The Lost Boy is actually a Lost Boy?
I mean, of course, it does make for a funny joke. And speaking of funny, here's a Seth Rogen joke, where the joke is that it's Seth Rogen.
Super weird.
Dale manages to escape, but Chip is kidnapped, and the cop lady gets a lead. Big rough character! So the cop makes it to the Walter White bootleg lab where Chip is and tries saving him, but what's this? J.K. Simmons was in on it the whole time!
What?
But thankfully, not only did they make one self-aware joke earlier about it, but they make it two more in this fucking scene. One to exclaim how cliche it is that a cop is betraying everyone, and the other one for how he's in it for the money. Man, golly, I was gonna criticize this scene, but because they made 3 whole observational jokes on it, that shows me they are indeed in on the joke, and I can't criticize it.
You can't hurt my...
So, TLDR, Dale gets a secret message from Cop Lady, and he goes on his way to save the day, but uh-oh, his car breaks down. This leads them to meeting up with Jesus Christ. Gadget is uncanny.
You know, it just hit me. These models look like fucking deepfakes. Do people still want to fuck this character now?
Better question, why does Zipper have a voice? Like, how come—
Excuse me. Hello, Chuck.
Oh, so that's why Gadget chose him.
Black dick all in your spouse again.
So TLDR, Dale flies in at the nick of time, and he breaks the machine and gives an emotional speech or something. But then Pete morphs into this giant cyberpunk dystopia of a creature. So Chip and Dale escape onto the bootleg movie set. Wait, wasn't it overseas?
I guess they were making the bootleg movies here the whole time.
Well, that's convenient. They retconned their own plot.
Wait, that was a Simpsons bootleg reference. Does that mean the Lonely Island watches LS Mark the Gaming Whiz?
Pooge the Fat Honey Bear.
Funny story, now that Pooh is public domain, they wouldn't have to do this. Wow, that Jurassic Park reference was so necessary. Why is it that people are okay with these references, but when Seltzerberg did that same thing in the early 2010s, it was the worst thing known to man?
Jack Swallows? It's kind of gay, dude.
Gay.
These are quite literally the exact same styles of humor. It's just references.
Because Disney has the budget and the cultural death grip. I love late-stage capitalism.
No, it's stuck to my face like silly putty. Remember that stuff?
It never ends.
So Cop Lady kills J.K. Simmons like in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Chip and Dale are still chased by the Peter Pan amalgamation. But thankfully, Ugly Sonic Deus Ex Machina's himself into the story. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. What the fuck is this?
Sadly, there is a second death fake out, and it's just as emotional as the last one.
If, of course, you spell emotional as obviously contrived.
That's 2 words, but got him.
And thankfully, Monty's alive. Of course, he's heavily bootleg, and so poorly animated that his chin is clipping through his body, but nevertheless, he's alive. So all the characters walk off into the sunset, happy and free.
And that's the end. Fuck you!
So, famous internet micro-celebrity Jess Stop, what did you think of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
Well, I want to ask, what did that have to do with Chip and Dale in the first place? Like, I know it technically followed them, but they don't act like their cartoon counterparts, and almost none of the lower characters from the actual show are brought up other than the leads. They pretty much could have used any characters for this, and it equally wouldn't have worked. The fact it's called Chip and Dale is nothing more than a way to draw in viewers, and I think that's a great way to describe the film. References to make up for the fact there's really nothing else there.
To quote the movie itself, "You can't hurt my feelings if I'm in on the joke." To which I respond, are you though? The movie tries to compensate for its lackluster generic plot by pretending to be something it's not, in on the joke. But there is no joke. You're just making a bunch of statements about how generic your movie is. Which, fun fact, doesn't make your movie less generic. It just means you were too lazy to actually do better. The meta humor is surface level observational shit, and doesn't actually say anything insightful or really that funny. And of course, the Peter Pan drama certainly doesn't help anything, aside from showing just how much they don't give a shit. Once again, the positive reception really shocks me, because the film isn't nearly as clever as critics are saying it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, hope you had fun watching this film with me. I'm gonna get back to falling, but this time in the opposite direction.
So, like, flying?
Nope, just falling with style.
Wait a minute. He broke my roof for a reference?!
Fuck you in the lanes you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch, nah. All that shit it fit, the rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star, I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds, I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too lovely. Yeah, hanging up and calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah, getting high with the seat laid back. Baby, gon' relax, yeah. Hey, they don't know the half, yeah. No matter what happened, I got your back. Baby, that's the facts, yeah. That's the facts, yeah. Yeah, we can fight, but the feeling's gone. I try to find the words, but they never come.